Just to then sort of cover the very initial phases of recruitment as well. Job description, really, really important. I mean, presumably you guys would have reviewed the job descriptions for the roles that you are in now. How much of that would you say is what sort of percentage of that would you say is you know, relevant for what you actually do in your role?
Pretty much all of it.
Yeah. Yeah, so everything that was listed on the job description is what you're doing in your role. Great. And that's absolutely where it should be. Quite often you might get a manager who may develop a job description and put everything that they might think is part of that role, but actually perhaps they don't really definitely know what's the role. They're just maybe not close enough to it, you know. It could be the wrong person developing the job description, and there might be somebody who works much closer to that position that will be better to advise on, well actually, you know, this person is going to be you know, doing this, that, the other, and could be a much more accurate with it. And obviously job description is really important because it's the first thing that a candidate wants to review when they're interested in a job. So routes to recruit. I've already touched on a couple of routes to recruit, but can perhaps you have a think about ways that we might look to recruit? So quite often a company would use a recruiter. So I mentioned Hayes, just to name one. That's a very good thing to do. They're dedicated to recruiting and to finding candidates. Finding candidates and sifting CVs is very, very time consuming, and if you've not got a dedicated recruitment team within your business, such as, you know, Pattern Air have or Rolls-Royce have, you might need to draw from some relationships that you can build up with recruiters. Again, also for very specific skills, so things like, you know, an IT, ERP specialist that specialises in a particular Microsoft package. Actually, you know, the percentage of the market that you're trying to pinpoint to is kind of this big, and you're looking around here somewhere. So really, you might engage with a recruiter to do something like that. When engaging with a recruiter, you need to agree some terms, and it's always good to have what is known as a PSL, so a preferred supplier list. So as a business, to generate some key relationships in accordance with what your business does. So if, you know, you're manufacturing aircraft parts, you might want to look to engage with a recruiter who you know, specialises in people with mechanical engineering qualifications and can really draw from that field of people, as opposed to just going out to the market and going in blind and not really knowing what skills you're going to be picking up along the way. So it's always good to have those relationships already set up, get them to know your business and build some good relationships with them, and then you can draw from those relationships whenever you've got a role that you need them to support you with. So that's just one other way. You might internally recruit, so not only recommend a friend, but you might advertise the job internally, whether that be on job boards or intranet, you know, a company intranet. It's good to have a really good think about how you're going to target those people. Because you don't want to, if 75% of your workforce is on a shop floor with lack of access to email or lack of access to a computer, you don't want to only advertise those positions on the company intranet, do you really? So it's always good to have a think about how you're going to reach out to your market as well. And also it's really important to mention that with regards to any fixed term roles or temporary positions you might have, or temporary workforce, agency workforce that you might have within your business, you need to make company vacancies available to those people. The understanding is that you have to give them a perfect opportunity to apply for a permanent role wherever possible, and that's part of kind of agency workers legislation as well. So.